everybody, it's Christine with episode 5 of Scrapbook Sketches 103. I am using the same sketch from the scrap room all month long, and today I'm going to be using the DoubleShot kit from the scrap room and turning the sketch into a 2-page layout. Again, like my last video, it's a little bit of a loose interpretation. And again, that's okay. Using the sketch as a jumping off point to get started. So to extend it into a 2-page layout, I am going to use a circle in the middle. So I'm going to build that with the circle being kind of a focal point and then building the sketch on top of it. So you can see I pulled out some green cardstock, which was not in the page kit, but coordinates really nicely with it. And then the yellow cardstock is from the page kit. You can make this work with pretty much any base color. I just like the way the yellow and the green worked, particularly with my pictures. Now, what you saw me do right there is I just marked where the circle is going to split rather than glue it on and try and cut straight. I marked the top and the bottom and then cut it on my paper trimmer accordingly. You will notice that I'm making the right-hand side have a little bit more of the circle and the left-hand side have a little bit less. Circles are definitely one of my favorite ways to add something to a 2-page layout to make it all be more cohesive. So this collection that's in the DoubleShot kit comes from PhotoPlay, and it's got a honeybee theme. Very fun, cute colors, cute patterns, but it is a little bit restrictive because of the colors, because of the theme. So in the end, I decided to just do some fun family photos. And these are actually pictures of us from the fall, which is kind of a funny time to use pictures with a honeybee theme, but the colors really worked. Like you can see that green in the background of our pictures coordinates really well. And it's got a golden hue to it, so I thought it worked really well. So now I'm going to totally stray from the sketch here as I create my 2 sides. What I am going to hold true to is layers of patterned paper in the background, somewhat centered on that page. I am gonna have my pictures kind of following that, but mostly, I think this is probably as far as I get from the sketch thus far. Not to say that later in the month it won't get even further, but very, very loose. I struggled to stay very true to the sketch. I really wanted to, but it just wasn't happening. So you can kind of see where I've got the layers going, and I am using 2 pictures on this side anyway. You can see I've got pretty simple patterns going just because I didn't want it to be completely overwhelming. And so that is definitely one part of it, choosing the patterns within the page kit that aren't totally over the top. Now, a few videos ago, or maybe just 2 videos ago, I don't remember exactly, I did a beach layout with the Simple Stories Sunkissed collection. And that one was also from the DoubleShot kit. That was the other part of the DoubleShot kit this month. So you've got this honeybee theme that has bright colors, but it's a totally different approach. And then you have Sunkissed with all the bright, vibrant colors. That's very much so a summer theme. So 2 sort of different, but not totally different collections that obviously fit into a summer theme. The DoubleShot kit, as I've mentioned before, is a 2-page or 2-collection page kit. So it includes pieces of 2 different collections and allows you to expand from the flavors of the month where you have 4 collections into 6 collections to play with. So now I'm going to work on the other side. Again, same thing. I'm going to build up 3 separate layers of the patterned paper. And I did just kind of make sure I've got them about the same distance from the top so that they line up with the other side. And then I'm going to put my pictures on, but in this case, I'm actually going to use 3 pictures, landing in adding them in a staggered way over on that right-hand side. Now the next thing I'm going to do is play with the title and embellishments. So you can see we've got this 12 by 12 sticker page that will work for that. And I'm going to take it from, they had our hive. I'm going to actually add in the word happy in there and have our happy hive. And so kind of a play off of, well, not kind of, totally a play off of the bee theme. Also a very unique title for me for a scrapbook layout. What I am playing with at this point is just kind of figuring out where I want to place that. There was no perfect option on this one. I definitely struggled with just the placement of the title within that circle. And eventually I landed in a place that I'm happy with, but it definitely took me a little while, and you can see that I'm pulling things up, checking the straightness, trying to kind of figure out, okay, where am I going to put hive at? Ultimately, after moving a lot, etc., I land here where I have our a little further up and then happy a little further down, both above the pictures, and then hive down below. And I really like the way that that looked. I'm going to try shifting together up onto my picture because it feels a little bit off down below. As I mentioned, I just kind of struggled with the words on this one. Didn't have too much trouble once it came down to embellishing and adding stickers for that, but my words did not come together easily for whatever reason. It's a fun collection. I like it. It's nothing to do with the collection. It just wasn't flowing as easily as I would like that night. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my black pen and outline. And as I've talked about a lot in my videos, I do this to help provide a border. Sometimes it's to break up patterned papers, as I'm doing with my layers there. Sometimes it's just to make something pop more and have a little separation. I do like to always try and do this before I start embellishing because it can get messy sometimes. Sometimes you make mistakes, and those stickers are fabulous for covering up mistakes. So fairly early in the process for me, once I've got my initial layers down, is when I like to do this. Now sometimes I decide at the end that I want to add it, and we make do. But this is a good point to do it. So you can see right now, I do not have a symmetrical layout, but it is still eye-pleasing because it does have a good balance going on. And I will bring even more completeness to the balance with my stickers and as I start embellishing. So first up, I'm going to add this yellow border sticker to the bottom of my layers on the left-hand side, and then I will also add it to the right-hand side. Again, bringing that balance in by having it on both sides, it helps things to make sense. You don't have to do that. It's just kind of an eyeballing it thing to see where things land. Then I'll build up some clusters on the layout, and I'm going to start those with some of the bigger sticker elements and then go out from there. So start with the big, go with the small, but trying to not just focus on one cluster right off the bat, but focus on all three of those areas so I make sure to get some big stuff in each spot. And then just adding some little details. There's lots of good little detail stickers within there that are fun. I love that little "This Is Us" banner with the bees there. Just, you know, there's just some really cute sort of sappy, punny phrases in this collection that make it just kind of make you smile if you're, at least I think they make you smile anyway. Lots of fun, and, you know, PhotoPlay is pretty good about doing this with their collections where they have just some really light-hearted stuff. Now, although I thought I was going to have just 3 clusters, in the end I decided to build up on both sides of the title and also add another one down below. So I actually end up with 5, but a couple of them have just smaller elements included. Now, what you see me doing right now is I am adding in some bumblebees, and I am popping those up with some 3D foam adhesive just because it's a very flat layout at this point. To bring out the black in this collection, as well as in my title, I'm going to add some black Nuvo drops, and I also added some black heart stickers, just so that it doesn't feel like the black is random at all. wasn't totally that way, but sometimes, you know, you can get like one color in there and it's like, okay, I need to add a little more here, or it doesn't make any sense. I also like the Nuvo drops, again, in this case, because it's adding some dimension and texture to the layout that it was lacking a little bit of. Now, I'm not going to go over the top with these, just a little bit here and there within my clusters, but just enough to make things pop a little bit more. So there you have it, a simple 2-page layout for the scrap room using the DoubleShot kit and focused on this month's sketch. Be sure to check back in later in the week for another episode of this series.